What's up, guys? Gun here. Hey, happy Thursday, August 20th, 2020. In this video, you know the drill. I'm going to go over my favorite points per dollar-ish play at each position on FanDuel. We call it the core picks. I'm going to give you a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and one center that I'll probably end up having the most exposure to in my own builds today. If you guys have your favorite plays at each position, hey, drop them in the comments below. Before we go forward, if you do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, show a little bit of love to the channel. We've been grinding back into the algorithm. We have well over 150 new subscribers this week, and I'm very confident in projecting the channel at 5,000 subscribers, maybe before NFL season. So if you guys want to help accomplish that goal, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit that notifications bell if you want to be notified next time we put up some content. We've been doing nightly live streams for NBA. I've been putting up daily NBA videos, and I have had some of you more hardcore fans looking for the MLB content. I'm going to try and not stop doing MLB content, but there is a hierarchy of prioritization that needs to happen. Obviously, the MLB videos do much less traffic, so it's a little less incentivization to do them. Anyway, let's jump into it. You guys know the drill, rundfs.com. If you guys want to hang out with me throughout the day, chat with me throughout the day, sweat the slates with me throughout the day, go to rundfs.com, make yourself an account, get signed up for a week pass, and that'll get you access to the rundfs.com premium Discord, my personal spreadsheets, projections, my personal player pool, and then, of course, the daily pre-lock voice chats. We've been in there grinding at the crack of dawn in the NBA voice chat. And then, of course, the pre-lock MLB voice chat is up and running. Hey, today's slate, you know the drill. 4 games of game ones, a bunch of round twos for teams like the Miami Heat at the Pacers. We got a 215 total there. The Heat favored by 4. We've got the Rockets and OKC doing battle again. This time the Rockets are favored by 2.5. They actually started as an underdog that last game one, so a little bit of a flippage there, putting some respect on the Rockets. The Bucks and the Magic. Magic beat the Bucks pretty handily in game one. 227.5 with a 12.5 point spread. Makes you wonder if that little plus 12.5 for Magic, that bet feels a little bit trappy to see if the Magic will cover, since they not only covered last game, but they just outright won. The Blazers and the Lakers, 6.5 point spread in favor of the Lakers after getting taken. So Vegas kind of holding strong here in a couple of these spots. With that in mind, let's open up the FanDuel game lobby here, and let's get cranked up. Point guard, my favorite point guard play right now. Let's go to Goran Dragic. He's 6,200. He not only started over Kendrick Nunn in that first game against the Pacers, but Kendrick Nunn was not part of the rotation at all. So Goran Dragic had 34 minutes. This is a veteran point guard. Eric Spoelstra is not playing no games, and he had Dragic out there, and Dragic was looking good. 24 real points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. I'm not always certain that 20-plus real points will be there, but I feel like when it's not, we'll get some of those assists, and we definitely know that Dragic can be a decent steal guy. He only had 1 steal in this game, but I think Jimmy Butler had 4 or 5. So Dragic at 6,200, I think this guy could be a 7K player. So I still think there's a little bit of meat on the bone. If Kendrick Nunn's just not going to be in the rotation, Dragic's the guy. He's going to drive the ship. Let's put Kendrick Nunn in there, 6,200. I need 36 to feel happy on a normal day. Shorter slate, shorter range of outcomes, right? And we turn this sucker into maybe a tier. So I think at 6,200, there's very little ranges of outcomes where I'm sorely disappointed at what Dragic does. Knock on wood. Shooting guard. Let's look at Dragic's teammate, Jimmy G. Buckets. And if you didn't know, that G stands for go and play some minutes. 37 minutes in that first game. We thought Jimmy minutes could come back. This is a guy who has shown us the propensity to play high minutes under the Tom Thibodeau errors in not only Chicago, but in Minnesota. So we know he's capable of doing it. And in this game, 4 steals, that's and 2 blocks. A little bit of that old school Jimmy Butler defense showed up. That's 6 stocks. That is what, 12. That's 18 points of fantasy goodness for FanDuel, plus his points rebounds and assists. Much like Dragic, maybe we're not banking on 30 real points a game, but the rebounds and assists have room to come up as well. 8,100, I'd be happy with the ballpark of 40. I know shooting guard's going to be really stacked today. James Harden, you got to go all the way up and get him. There's a little bit less solidified foundations in terms of fantasy floors and guys like McCollum, Chris Middleton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But Jimmy Butler's right there in the sweet spot for me. I know 40 is probably a common range of outcome, and I think 50 plus is there. This is the playoffs. Jimmy Butler is Miami's leader, so I think as he goes, so will the Miami Heat. Moving it over to the small forward position, Danilo Gallinari. So the Rockets basically got smoked in that first game, the Thunder basically got smoked in that first game against the Rockets. I'll pull up that popcorn machine for you and look at Danilo Gallinari. Gallo still played a big chunk of minutes in the fourth quarter, and this was something I was very, 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 very mindful of coming into the final week of the bubble, because I felt like Gallo's price was getting dangerously low for what we know his floor and ceiling could be, and this is one of those unbelievable matchups for a guy like Gallinari playing small ball basketball against the Houston Rockets. Now, what I thought would happen was that Steven Adams would get run off the court because of the small ball unit that the Rockets would throw out there. That didn't really happen. Adams even played the start of the fourth quarter. If I'm a coach, that can't happen, because maybe that's a catalyst and one of the parts of the Thunder getting beat up the way they did. They couldn't stretch the floor quite like the Rockets could, or a lot of other teams can do. I know Dennis Schroeder and SGA didn't pull their parts, but Danilo Gallinari, if I'm a coach, needs to play some of these rotations as the center, as the five, and just match them stretch for stretch, Gallo versus Jeff Green, stuff like that. Nonetheless, no matter what their minute plan is, it does look like the plan for Gallo to play over 30 minutes is at least what we're going to be expecting. Much like Butler, much like Dragic, I want to see more peripherals here, but I do think in this fast-paced matchup, more rebounds could fall his way, a couple more assists. I'm not going to bank on 30 real points, but I do think 20 real points in a track meet type of pace at 6,500. Could I get to 40 plus? I think I can. So I'm going to go back to the well and Danilo Gallinari. I do think his price has wiggle room to go up. If I'm looking a little bit lower, I still like Eric Gordon. I talked about him in my last video. I just didn't want to be overly cheesy and just keep repeating the same picks on game ones. But he played 30 minutes against OKC, 20 plus real points. He is somebody that I would expect to be scoring dependent if he's going to have a solid fantasy game. I also kind of like the idea of a bounce back for Evan Fournier. He has been one of the most consistent three-point shooters for the Magic on the season. He had one bad shooting game in game one. I think they're going to try and get him to shoot out of it. Minutes will be there for him. As we scroll down even more, no one's really standing out to me from these bottom-of-the-barrel guys. But Gallo's right there in the middle for me, so I'm going to lean on Gallo. But I don't hate Melo, don't hate Fournier, Eric Gordon, guys like that. And, of course, LeBron and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You guys didn't need my channel to tell you those guys are studs. They should both smash today. And LeBron James, doing what LeBron James does in the playoffs, probably will average a triple-double. Going over to the power forward spot. Hey, Bam Adebayo. Whoop, I pulled up my stacks from earlier. Bam Adebayo, 8K on FanDuel. I just like a Heat stack. I feel like this is one of those spots like we see with like the Raptors and the Celtics. This team is going to be a very tight rotation, and these guys are going to work together cohesively. I think there's a lot of positive correlation between playing Dragic, Butler, and Adebayo together. Adebayo had 10 rebounds that last game, 17 points, and the blocks were there. We know that the Pacers play pretty undersized basketball. They allow amongst the most blocks per game, and we love those for FanDuel. So I like that a lot, and even got himself assists. Bam Adebayo is a guy that's flirted with triple doubles earlier this season, so we know that's part of his game as well. A lot of those games came without Jimmy Butler, guys like that, but it's still part of his game. So 8K, I think a solid floor to ceiling ratio is there. Obviously, Anthony Davis is going to be some highly sought after. If we scroll down, I'll give you some other guys I do like. Jeff Green has been playing a lot of minutes as the center for the Rockets. 32 minutes against OKC in game one, 37 DKP, 29 and 25 minutes against the the 76ers. There's a good chance you're going to get 20-plus fantasy points out of him, so I'll definitely keep an eye on Jeff Green if you guys are looking for some sneaky plays. And then Gary Clark. Aaron Gordon, as of this moment that I'm recording this video, is not officially in or out. He still has a Q tag. Gary Clark started that game, and he chucked 12 three-point attempts. And that's one of the keys to getting off on the Bucks is they allow a lot of points via the three ball. So it's good to know that that's a weapon that he has. And in that game, he accrued 15 real points, 6 boards. That was enough at his previous price to make you really happy. If he stays at 4,100, if Aaron Gordon stays out, I don't mind going back to as Gary Clark, put him in my pocket as a value play. And then speaking of the Magic, I disrespect Vucevic, right? I'm Vucci Gang fan club president, and I just didn't play him enough in that slate. 8,300 today. I can go back to the well. He dropped 55.8 DKP, kept the Magic in it, 35 real points, 14 rebounds. If you look at his recent history against the Bucks, 3 straight 50-plus fantasy point games on FanDuel. He had a 32 fantasy point game in just 25 minutes, 45 and 26 minutes. He has a really solid point per minute history against the Bucks. I think no matter if Aaron Gordon is in or out, I'm still going to be investing in Vucevic today. And I am so sorry, Vucevic, for playing way more Brook Lopez than you on that last slate. I still like the idea of going back to Brook Lopez and some tournament shots, but Vucevic seems like a high floor, high ceiling play at 8,300. I'll be a buyer all day long, all day strong. So there we have it. My core plays on FanDuel as it stands now. Let me know what you guys think before you get out of here. Hit that thumbs up. Hope you guys crush it. If you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.